I'm going to show you how to perform a low bandwidth denial of service attack that is quite effective against a large amount of websites, mostly Apache. Ninjix and IIS is not so susceptible to it, but apparently there are some variations that do work. The tool we're going to be using is called Slowloris. So, what I have here on the right side, I have Kali Linux, which is going to be the attacker, and then on the left side, it's a clone of Kali Linux, but it's a little different, and that's going to be running the web server that we're going to take down. Okay, so to start, we need to go and download the Slowloris tool because it's not included in Kali. So, the website is ha.ckers.org, and then /Slowloris. Okay, and if you scroll down towards the bottom, here we have both the IPv Internet Protocol version 4 and then the IPv6 version. So for right now, I'm just going to be using the standard one. Let me go right click on it and go save link as. It's going to save it as slowloris.pl. I'm going to put it on the desktop. Now I need to start the web server on the other machine. Let's see. /Apache2 and then restart. I also need to figure out what the IP address is for this machine so that I can target it from the attacking machine. And let's see here. So the IP address is 172.26.9.112. So now I should be able to pull up the web page from the host machine on the attacking machine just by going to the IP address 172.26.9.112. There we go. Okay, so this is a website. It obviously doesn't look like much. It's just the generic Apache one, but it makes really no difference what it's actually displaying on there. Basically, if it works, if it says it works, it's coming through. On the host machine, I'm gonna go in terminal. I'm gonna have it set up so that we can actually see what's going on the network. So to monitor the network connections, we're just gonna do watch -in 1 netstat and then -an. And as I clicked refresh on the from the attacker machine, you can see that it shows up on the host machine. So there's obviously the connection between it. You can see that. I'm also going to open on the host site. I'm also going to open the Apache server here page here, so we can actually see the connections that are happening on it. Let's see, it's localhost slash I think it's server status or stats. Let's see. Yes, it's server status. Okay, and basically what happens whenever there's a connection, one of these little dots will go there, so you can see how many connections it handles. Open terminal. Okay, I'm going to modify my host file just to point a domain name to the actual other machine that's hosting it. So to edit the host file, I'm just going to I'm going to open it with leafpad, leafpad, and then the host file is actually located in etc / its hosts with an S. Okay, And I'm going to point it at the IP address of my of the actual site, or the actual server that's hosting it, which will be the victim, which is 172.26.9.1112. And there. I just gave it the name, the URL, DOS me. Just, you can pretty much make anything you want. And so what that's going to do is, instead of actually trying to find out whenever it tries to access this web page, instead of it actually going out to a DNS server, it just is going to look it up in its host files. It's going to say, oh, I already know this IP address. That way it'll pretty much be the same as a real world test. Okay, so save that. So if I go dos.me, yep, we see that page again, and I saw the server here popped up saying that I had a connection. Okay, so now to actually implement the attack, we're going to change the directory where we downloaded Slowloris 2, which in my case was the desktop. Pressing tab is just the autocomplete. And then to execute the attack, it's really simple. All we have to do is Perl, because it's a Perl script, so PERL space, and then Slowloris, and then dash DNS, and we're going to give it to the website name DOS.me. And here we go. So if I, on the host machine, the victim machine, if I actually refresh Apache, it's not even coming up. I didn't do it quick enough to actually show the full connections here. Hold on, let me and as you can see, as I try to refresh, it's just not getting through at all. Let me do Control-C there to stop the attack. Okay, here we go. So basically what happened was Slowloris sent a large amount of incomplete requests that end up eating up all the sockets on an Apache server. And as you can see, they're all just basically reading the request, waiting for the request to complete. One of the other cool things about it is just almost instantly when I stopped it, we were able to reload that. And it's just a really cool tool for a very low amount of bandwidth. Let's do this again. Perl. Now this time, I'm just going to manually set the timeout switch, which is just a dash, timeout, then a space, and then the amount of time you want to time out for. So in this case, I'm going to do 30. Technically, you could probably get away with, since it was the steps to determine the 30 was 30 and then 90, so you could probably, shoot for 45 or 60 and still be likely to be in that range. Basically, you want to use as little bandwidth as possible, just because it's more convenient, it's less noticeable, etc. Less load on your computer, especially if you're running this from a Windows computer. And then you can also set the number of connections by just using the switch num. The default is 1000, which I'm actually going to leave it at that. And then you can set the TCP connection timeout with the switch dash TCPTO, which is TCP timeout space, and then just the amount of time. This one I'm actually going to do 3 seconds for the heck of it. The default is 5 seconds. Okay, so here we go. Reset my server, it doesn't seem to be loading. It's not loading here either. And there we go. We have a very successful hit there. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you don't like it, give it a thumbs up anyway. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave a comment below and I'll do my best to address them. Normally, it's really simple to install the Tor browser. All you pretty much have to do is just download it and then open it. But there are a couple caveats with installing it in Kali, and I'll go over this. Today I'm going to show you how to brute force a website login using Hydra. There's the IP address for the host, the login name is root, and the password is 557. So if I go back to the forum, root, and then 557, sign in, and that's it. Very simple. One thing that might be helpful if you were trying to mitigate against this type of an attack would be, today I'm going to walk you through how to install Kali on VirtualBox. Kali is a penetration testing operating system. You'll want to open VirtualBox and create a new virtual machine. I'm selecting to use the encrypted drive just because it has a few more steps in the setup process and the login in process so that I can document it. This is the login screen. Your username is root, R-O-O-T, and the password is the password that you entered when you first installed Kali.